How can I help you? What are you jotting down in your notebook all the time? Notes on our adventures, good ideas that come to mind. I don't know how it is with you, but in my case, my mind is constantly producing thoughts and ideas worthy of writing down. Some I use my articles and books, others I will share with the audience next time I speak. For a Logos in Absalom. Some other thoughts should be kept out of the public view for a while. Our world isn't yet ready for certain revelations. It isn't, huh? Tell me about yourself. I've heard this request so many times. Well, as we're traveling together, I suppose I can give you an interview, free of charge, of course. Where are you from? All of Galarium is my home. I am a citizen of the world. Some might say my home is Absalom, the great old patchwork city. It's there that my books and magazine articles are published, and there I am held in particularly high esteem, owing to my vast knowledge. In fact, once I was invited to the College of Mysteries itself, but I prefer to think of Absalom as not as home but headquarters, where I go to plan my next adventure. I visited every country worth mentioning in Aveston and Garud. I've even trotted the exotic lands of Tianzia. I've seen miracles you couldn't even imagine, and every place I've been, there was a home that would have gladly received a renowned explorer such as myself. The famous name of Jubilos Narthrottle is known even in the most remote corners of the world. Still, where were you born? You know, the line between persistent and importunity is very thin, and you're crossing that line. Do you think I haven't mentioned my birthplace because because of my forgetfulness? I was born in Taldor, if you must know. The Empire is in decline nowadays, but still cherishes the illusions of its past glory. It's a country torn by prejudice. In Taldor, my mind was trapped in a cage of restrictions, birthright, poverty, and their beggars be damned attitude. I left the country as soon as I understood it. So if you ever try to rekindle any patriotic feelings in me, you'll be disappointed. My first article in the Independence was about Taldor. The magazine was almost closed as a result of the scandal that followed, and it would have closed were it not for crowds of my supporters marching in protest under the windows of the publishing house, making its editors change their minds. Hey, you've traveled so much. Tell me of your travels abroad. Jubilos tilts his head, peering at you. I've written a fair number of articles and essays on my journeys, and if you'll excuse me, I haven't the slightest desire to retell them all to you right now. If you wish to learn about foreign lands, pick up my issue of the Independence and read all you like. I'm sure you can find magazines even in this hole of a place. So you write books and magazine articles. I certainly do. I'm too generous not to share my thoughts and journeys with the other minds who search for knowledge. Judging from your face, you don't belong in that category. Among my scientific works, I'd recommend the range of articles published in National Alchemy. If you prefer lighter reading, you might like Traveler's Essays or The Scandalous, The Independence. If pictures capture your attention better than words, page through the illustrated Atlas of Aveston, and you should give your cook a volume or two of my culinary almanacs. Trust me, it might help. Huh. Jubilos throws a speculative glance at you. Some have tried to blame you for a sleazy romance novel called The Five Sins of Serenray. I have no idea on who spread these crazy rumors, but if you like such a frivolity, I've been informed that the novel sequel, The Sixth Sin, was recently published. You wear glasses. Why don't you ask some cleric to heal your eyesight? Jubilos throws a cutting glance at you. I'm sure you could have figured out the answer to that question on your own if you bothered to use a logical approach. At least I sincerely hope so. I prefer to think of you as a lazy person, not a stupid one. Gibelos tightens his lips. Well then, I suppose it's my fate to enlighten you. Alright, there's no time like the present. Let's build up to a logical conclusion together. And so, starting with the obvious. A cleric service costs several hundred gold coins. Spectacles cost a dozen gold coins, so maybe I just couldn't afford to pay the cleric. Incorrect conclusion. I earn enough. Besides, some clerics would surely help me free of charge because of their fans of my incomparable talent. The answer can't be the money, then so what is it? Let's explore further. Surely you've noticed that I am rather a famous person. Just to be clear, which articles I'm famous in, my scientific articles are well known among the students and teachers of various institutions of higher education. My articles that satirize the rich and powerful are extremely popular among the minor nobility, traders, and workers. That is, among anyone who doesn't have any power for themselves, the kind of people who don't usually have enough money to afford an expensive cleric. Well, can you add it all up and find the right answer? Gibelos doesn't let you get a single word in edgewise. Apparently, he's uninterested in your reaction and is just enjoying listening to his own voice. My spectacles are sometimes something that unites me with my readers. People are more often to those who share their social status. Many of my readers can't afford to heal their eyesight at the temple, so when I too refuse such healing, I become closer to the people. My spectacles are part of my image. Okay. Thanks for telling me about yourself. Let me ask you about something else. Ask away. Tell me something about the history of the gnome race. What have I come to? Gibelos Narthropple, famous explorer, writer, and scientist, is reduced to giving simple lessons in history. Very well, ask away. What questions do you have? How did gnomes appear in Golarion? And they came here in ancient times from the First World. You do know what the First World is, right? If you don't, ask me about it some other time. I used to lecture on it at a couple institutes. According to the understanding I've accumulated, the gnomes were an immortal race until some of our especially insightful ancestors came up with a brilliant idea. They decided it would be fun to learn how it feels to be mortal. I would like very much to meet those gnomes. I wouldn't even kick them. I'd just look them in the eyes without a single word. Too bad they're all long dead by now. As everyone knows, a stupid enough idea can be extremely contagious, so the gnomes caught this infection. All of them, without a hope for a cure. So they found a way to Golarion and decided to settle there. And you'll never believe it, they got just what they wanted. They severed their link with the First World. They gained mortality, the bleaching, and a heap of local diseases that have been keeping our race on the verge of extinction ever since. No gnomes live long? Certainly, long and happily ever after. Gibelos shakes his head in remorse. We'd live as long as elves were it not for the bleaching. That's the curse of our race, which only struck after the gnomes left the First World. To put it simply, gnomes must constantly have new experiences. If a gnome gets into a rut, so to speak, he bleaches. We start to lose color, literally. Our skin and hair become pale, and the worst thing is that our soul loses color too. If the process continues unchecked, the gnome dies. History recalls only a few cases where gnomes actually died of old age. Most of them perish either because of the bleaching or in the middle of some crazy adventure they've joined just to stave it off. So you travel so much as a way to fend off the bleaching? Gibelos stares at you, then nods slowly. You see, I enjoy being alive. I like to eat pancakes in the morning. I like to write articles for magazines. I like it when I leave the publishing house in Absalom and a crowd of fans immediately mobs me. So I don't intend to die at the peak of my life because of some stupid ancient curse. But don't you dare imagine that everything I do is just for the fear of bleaching. I tell the people the truth about the world that surrounds them. My theoretical research aids the development of different branches of science in various institutes. Yes, sooner or later I'll bleach and die, like any other gnome, but the name of the famous Gibelos Narthropple will live throughout the ages. let's change the subject, like learn more about the First World. Well, you've asked the right person. I am an expert in studying the First World. Give me your questions. First World, what's it like? It's huge, wild, and extremely unfriendly to the unprepared traveler. Nothing remains constant there. Matter changes before your eyes. What was a mountain yesterday becomes a river today, and that river flows upwards. The trees touch the sky, the heat of the desert can melt metal, and hurricane winds can tear a person apart. But it would be wrong to think of the First World as the plane of total destruction. Creation is just as important there. The deserts spring alive into forests, and when the hurricane subsides, animals emerge from hiding, huge, wild as untamed as the world itself. The First World epitomizes life in its original chaotic meaning. There's a theory that gods used the First World as a training ground to practice their ability to create matter. Then they abandoned the First World to its own fate and wandered up to create Galarium. Some say the inhabitants of the First World still hold a grudge against the gods for this. How can a person get there? Mainly through magical portals created by skilled magicians, but the price of such a portal is usually in excess of several thousand gold coins. Might be able to do that. There is another way, of course. There are documented cases where spontaneous portals to the First World have proven to There are documented cases where spontaneous portals to the First World have opened in remote places on Galarian, where, as mages say, the boundaries between the two worlds has grown thin. But spontaneous portals are rather dangerous. You never know what's lurking on the other side. Only desperate adventurers and madmen use them. And of course, romantic suicidal idiots who think that good common sense is too boring. Are there any sentient beings in the First World? Of course, the Fae, and all their relatives, and all their relatives' relatives, and then some more Fae besides. Sometimes one meets leprechauns or satyrs there, which are actually another type of Fae, just called by another name, and all of them are immortal, by the way, at least within their own homeworld. Souls of the creatures of the First World have no connection with the realm of mortals. When a creature of the First World dies, its soul just materializes in another body, similar to its old one. It's not a pleasant experience, and the resurrected creature loses almost all of the powers and abilities and develop over its life, but keeps all its memories and personality. It's still much better than a mortal death, I would say. Sometimes the process doesn't even take long. The killer might even eat his victim again the following week. Naturally, this immortality has influenced the way First World inhabitants think. For instance, Fae enjoy mischief and tricks that can easily end in someone's death. The Fae think it's funny and annoy, and anyone from another world who falls victim to such tricks doesn't end up having much to say at all. Once, the gnomes were immortal relatives of the Fae. Who rules the First World? It's commonly assumed that the eldest rule it. They are overseers, but more just a glorified version of the Fae Lords. Power attracts pompous blockheads in every world. What are you hinting at? I'm only fulfilling my duty. What are you hinting at? I'm only doing what I Ibla stares at you with interest. Yes, duty. Protecting your subjects and restoring order. Objectives so noble I could weep. Unfortunately, noble objectives can coexist perfectly happily with pompous blockheads. Are you quite sure you're not one of those? But let's get back to the First World. The eldest possess the power to keep matter in the First World in a more or less constant state. That's why the Fae treat them as demigods and offer them prayers just as we offer prayers to Desna, Rastil, or even Lamashtu. You know a lot about the First World. Have you ever been there? Gibelos wrinkles his lips. I haven't the opportunity yet. Unfortunately, my studies of the First World are limited to the confused statements of witnesses or scribbles in their diaries. Also, I've studied the remains of some unfortunate who periodically fall out of spontaneous portals. I keep to the hope that sooner or later I'll manage to visit the world, the wonderful place, and certainly the notes I'd write on the place would be far more extensive and informative than all the ramblings on the subject I've had to wade through. Huh. Naturally, the main concern of my expedition would be the safety of its leader, namely me. It would be extremely foolish to go that far and see that much, only to lose the chance to tell anyone about it. Talk about something else. You must know a lot about the First World. Oh, we already talked about that. Tell me, why have you studied the First World so thoroughly? Jibalox looks at you for several moments, his eyes narrow. I told you already. I'd like to be alive, I assure you. Other gnomes share the same attitude. Between the bleaching disease and old age, we have a lot to yearn for. But the ancient gnomes, for some reason, decided that mortality, the bleaching, and all the diseases of Galarian are preferable to the immortality of the First World. I can't do anything to change that, but I can do something with my own life. I want to find a way back to the First World for all the gnomes of Galarian. Unfortunately, to do this, I can't just gather up all the gnomes and send them marching through the nearest portal. We're too attached to Galarian now. We've lost our connection with the chaos of the First World. We've become too mortal, if you see what I mean. When a gnome dies in the First World, he dies forever, like any visitor. But there must be something that can be done to solve this problem, and I intend to find out what it is. We lost Narthropple, the hero who returned the gnomes home. It is a nice ring. It has a nice ring to it, wouldn't you say? You're not friendly, you know. Do you think so? Jibalox looks at you above his glasses. Why ever not, if I may ask? Perhaps you confuse superficially friendly words with genuinely friendly intentions. Believe it or not, I wish you only well. As a proof of that, I can point to the fact that I travel with you and that I'm talking with you right here and now. He does have a point on that part. Tell me, which do you value more, an artificial smile or an honest smile? Honest attitude, bolstered by friendly advice and assistance. Even the is lawful good. Even the most useful advice is better received if it's offered the right way. Your advice sounds like your only aim is to please your own. Okay, yep. Even the most useful advice is better received if it's offered the right way. Your advice sounds like your only aim is to please your own ego. Here's another piece of advice then. You should learn to see the essence rather than being distracted by colorful wrappings. Otherwise, you risk swallowing something you shouldn't because it was wrapped in golden foil. If you cannot separate the sense of my words from the way they sound, that's not my problem. Oh, thank you for the conversation. I have to go. Come back when you run out of clever ideas again. Whew. Okay. Well, that was something. Jibalox, our throttle. You are crazy. 1 second, chat. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. I'd say let's go ahead and head out. Now I'm not gonna just go ahead and exit the area. I'm gonna walk out the gates basically, because something like this would happen. I was kind of expecting this to. I'm wondering when this would have happened. Good thing I quick saved. Soon after return in the city, you realize Valerie is not at her usual post. Asking a series of servants and guards, you find your way to the city tavern, where you find the girl with a glass of wine.
Do you need something?
Can I join you? Valerie scoots over, giving you some space. You take an empty stool and order a drink. For a few minutes, there is an intense silence between you. The girl slowly sips her drink. drink your beer silently.
Since you and I met for Darrow, I've started coming here more often. I don't care, but... I don't care, but I'm getting tired of all the extra attention that's being so generously shoveled at me.
Because of the scar?
Of course. As if these fools pay attention to anything else. Oh no, our beautiful Valerie has stopped being such a beauty. Her wonderful face is ruined. It must mean there's something wrong with her. I have to say, I want to scream at everyone who keeps looking at me with terror and regret. Where has your adoration and veneration gone? Vanished with one swing of a sword. It would be strange to expect anything else from you. You, just like the rest of my admirers, now consider me, how should I put it, damaged goods. Well, where are your compliments now? Do you like this, Valerie?
Yes.
What? But...
For me, you're always beautiful. Nothing could ever change that, or I don't value your beauty. I like 1 and 2. I like them. Not sure which one I want. For me, I'm gonna go with this. For me, you're always beautiful. Nothing could ever change that.
Empty flattery, no doubt. But thank you anyway. I think I've had enough for today. Both wine and honesty. Please don't worry about my ability to serve you. I've vowed to fight shoulder to shoulder with you, and I'll not break it.
Was that a good choice? I hope that was a good choice. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that was a good choice. I really do like how they actually changed the portrait to what it is. Really do like how they changed that. All right then. Pose. We go ahead and head down to the lizard folks' place. Accept. Okay. I think I would have ran into another. Oh. Okay, so 4 to settle. Check out Ekken's lead. Okay, that's that lost child guiding beacon. Okay. Heeding the hopeless pleas of a poor woman. Okay, the child is at the. This child is here at the lizard folk village. So I think we will go ahead and head here. Sure. No one's fatigued. No one's exhausted, so I think we'll be okay.
Consider me provoked.
Oh god. Doggo! Attack! Oh, well, there goes Doggo. I just backed him into a giant corner. One of them's gonna die. Oh, there's a summoner here. Hello.
Dawnflower, grant me strength.
Yeah, this fight ended up becoming really wonky. Like, wait. Huh, this is definitely an ambush. That was definitely an ambush. Ambush I was not expecting.
In due time.
All right, so I think I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna send these two up here.
Let us strike as one.
I'm always ready. We should move. Their life ends here. This will hurt.
Actually, hold on. Let's change that up.
You should have run.
Tear them apart. Do not falter.
Okay, I think I'm gonna need you to. Oh, Doggo died? Oh, rude. Wait, rude, no!
Hey, can someone help me? I died.
Oh god, why? Wow. Wow! An ambush! It's just wrecking my face.
I'll survive.
Yeah,
I always survive.
Good god, really? Oh, no. Okay, thank you. Wow. That is the rudest thing I have ran into in a while. That took me, that took a good number of heals. That took a good number of heals. What a bunch of rudes. Bunch of rudes. All right, so here's what's gonna end up happening. I'm actually gonna go ahead and continue this tomorrow, chat, because I'm actually getting tired. I do want to get to bed. But I gotta wake up early tomorrow. So thank you guys for coming out to the stream. I hope you had yourselves a fantastic time. Okay. Okay. We didn't really get much done in this one. We didn't get much done at all. Got a few side quests done, and then we got down to here. I really wish I could stream longer, but it's like I can't stream much. I can't stream very long. Cause now this is an awkward time to be streaming. Oh well. But anyways, thank you guys. And if you haven't, and if should probably take a drink before I get this notification. All right. So, if you guys wish to watch more of my streams, go ahead and press, and if you haven't already, go ahead and press that follow button. It helps me out and helps you out, letting you know when I go live. And also, I recommend if you do so, go ahead and give my Discord, my Twitch, my Discord, my Twitter, and my Steam group page a follow as well, so that way it's even harder for you to miss a notification on when I do go live. But if you miss any of my streams, I will be posting up on YouTube as soon as I can, as best I can, as quickly as I can. I'm behind, as you guys can already tell. But with that, that's all I have today, guys. So thank you for coming out to the stream. Hope you had yourselves a fantastic time. And as always, stay active, chat, and stay connected. Hope to see y'all next time. This is Zircon, signing out. Bye, y'all.